Hi all, Brad Wright from the Single Malt Whisky Club here, and this month we've got a couple of bona fide sherry bombs to look at. Both of them 100% sherry matured, both cask strength, both of them island whiskies, and both of them lovely. So what's the difference? Well, our malt of the month is non-peated, while our optional extra is a peated whiskey. So the first, our malt of the month, is from Isle of Arran Distillers, located not so surprisingly on the Isle of Arran. In fact, it's the Arran Sherry Cask The Bodega. Now, Arran Distillers are a relatively young mob by Scottish standards, founded in 1995, and they're the first legal distillery on the Isle of Arran since 1837. But as is often pointed out, the Isle of Arran is no stranger to distilling, with up to 50 illegal stills operating in the early 19th century. Arran is a truly independent distillery owned by a small group of shareholders rather than a faceless corporation, which I guess is all too rare these days, so that's worth supporting, especially when they produce such lovely whiskies. It's worth noting as well that the Isle of Arran distillers have recently completed building a whole new distillery on the south of the island called Lag Distillery, which will be producing peated whisky offerings down the track. Exciting times ahead, and we can't wait to see what comes out of there. So anyway, now this month's Arran Sherry Cask is a new addition to the Arran core range, which has recently had a complete facelift. This one's aged exclusively in first fill sherry hogsheads, which are 250 litre casks. There's no age statement, but word is that the majority of the casks are 7 years old. And so here it is. As you can see straight away, it's a beautiful, rich, dark colour there. Let's have a smell and a taste. Now I've put a bit of water in both of these. As you know, they're cask strength, so I've just unlocked them with a few drops of water. On the nose, oh, yum. Wow. It's really rich and inviting, and there's lots of caramel and that sort of dark stewed fruit there. On the palate, oh, yum. It's a rich, luxurious mouthfeel. Really mild spiciness, and then that fruit comes bounding in. Yum, there's cherries and raisins, some chocolate, and also I get a bit of old red skin lollies, a tiny bit of that there, and the finish is just lovely. It's it's sweet, it's chewy, it's warming, yum, that is seriously good. Now, our optional extra this month is from Highland Park Distillery, aged and bottled by our old friends at Gordon and Macphail. This is yet another sherry bomb. This one from another Scottish island, this time Orkney. This one at cask strength as well, 58.5%. This is a 2006 vintage single cask whiskey with only 618 bottles made from a single refill sherry puncheon. And this one, being a Highland Park, is lightly peated. But don't let that worry you too much. The peat that Highland Park uses is sourced locally, and it's made up primarily of decomposing heather. This produces a much different peat than the Ilar peat, say, which is primarily sphagnum moss, and many people find just a bit too much. This peat with the heather, majority heather, has sort of no real overt tarriness, no band-aids or iodine medicinal notes. This peat presents rather as a light smokiness that never really dominates the whiskey. So here it is. Lighter and golder than the Arran, but this is a refill sherry puncheon and not first fill casks like the Arran, so we'd expect that. So, and a couple of drops of water have sent it a little bit cloudy. That's fine. It's non-chill filtered, straight as the cask, as it was in the cask, basically. So on the nose, wow, it's a real fruit salady vibe here. It's almost a bit rummy. The palate, Really fruit driven, more of that tropical fruit salad flavours. There's also a milk arrowroot maltiness, which is backed up by vanilla and a little spice. And then there's just that slight suggestion of the smoke there, sort of giving it a hug from behind. The finish, I guess, is a medium finish. A little bit dry, but more of that fruit and malty oak. And there's also a slightly salty note at the end, which for an island whiskey makes perfect sense, I guess. That is delightful. So that's May. Is it May already? 2 sherry bombs, the Arran Sherry Cask The Bodega, and the Gordon and Macphail Highland Park 2006. Both island whiskies, both presented at cask strength, and both lovely but different. In a nutshell, the Arran is sweet, I guess, and traditional, whereas the Highland Park, to me, is a bit more tropical fruity than dark fruity, and a bit salty smoky. And so with that, I guess I'll leave you to ponder one, the other, or both. I'm going to get both. Until next month, Brad Wright, Single Malt Whisky Club, Slanjavar.